Boom, you looking for this?
Welcome back to Boom Shot. I'm Kale. This is Colby.
The couch setup.
Yeah, this is a new thing. You know, this is what we're doing. You know, we like to mix it up on the channel. You know, our old setup is getting our old new setup is getting a little bit stale. So we like to mix it up every once in a while.
We just broke it in. It was getting stale.
It was getting stale. You know, we're looking to renovate it, but anyway. So the new episode of Moon Knight just released, and I mean, you just want to talk about it? You know, we ain't got much to react to today. You know, we don't have a full setup, so we figured we just kind of do like a podcast, terrible audio, space type thing.
I'm lucky. I still have my brains intact my brain intact after this one.
Yeah, low key. It felt so weird. Like, you can go ahead though. I mean, we got thoughts, but
yeah, my thoughts are all over the place after watching it. We just watched it again.
Yeah.
I still can't make sense of it.
Dude, this would have made for a great reaction too. That's the thing. Is you hate to see that. But we go through the episode. We see Stephen and Layla working together. They walk through the tomb. They discover the tomb of Alexander the Great, who was
that was cool.
The avatar of Ammit in his day, which makes sense, you know, because Alexander was. I mean, he's a pretty dangerous man. He was a pretty dangerous man. And you know, they find the Ushbanti or something like that. The art, like the statue thing that, you know,
the same one that Khonshu has.
Yeah,
I guess that's just what they're called. And we find out at the beginning of the episode there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, so we find that, you know, Stephen finds that, and Layla comes in, and then we see Arthur come in, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened before this. We figure out other stuff, but we're just skimming to the very end because we want to get to the meat of the details, you know. So, you know, Arthur comes in with a bunch of guys who all have guns, and then Stephen surrenders control to Marc, or Marc already had control at that point because some stuff happened with Layla, and they're all pointing the guns, and Arthur's like, "You got a choice here. You can make the decision." And Mark's like, "Okay, I made my decision." Like, cuts a guy's arms off. You know, like it was kind of insane.
Into the chest of another guy with the ancient axe.
Yeah, ancient Alexander the Great axe, dude. And then Arthur pulls out a gun from
one of the dudes he just killed. I guess.
And shoots Marc. And then
Marc and Stephen, perhaps. Maybe that's why he shot him twice.
That's a great spot. Yeah. And so Stephen or Marc or whatever, both of them fall back into this pool where they just sit there.
I thought that was the end, dude.
Yeah, I thought that was the end too. And then it starts to sink, but except like it's really weird because that pool looked like it had a flat ground.
It had a bottom to it.
So then he starts to sink, and we see him sink into this light thing, Mabob. So then it switches. Disney Plus switches to a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's Dr. Stephen Grant and this other dude, Rosser.
Yeah,
it's like it's like Indiana Jones parody or something like that.
Yeah, bootleg movie, but yeah, mind blowing.
Basically, Stephen or Marc, both of them ended up. Mainly it's Marc, but ended up in some kind of like weird, insane asylum type thing.
Yeah, like a mental hospital of sorts.
Yeah,
but all the people there are people that we've met in previous episodes.
Yeah, if you remember in episode 2, with those two people that arrested him, the two,
yeah, they were there.
The two cops, they were there. Donna was there. Layla was there, and she was like his personal caretaker.
Arthur.
Yeah, and so then it switches, like the camera switches, or you know, we get like a transition, and then he's in this like personal meeting session with Arthur. Except Arthur's like a psychiatrist.
Yeah, in this mental hospital.
Yeah, trying to get to the bottom of Marc's condition, and he talks about that movie the movie that Dr. Stephen Grant is in, and Rosser.
I forgot.
Tomb.
I was gonna say Tomb Raiders.
Yeah, it's not Tomb Raider.
It's not
Tomb Robber something.
Something, yeah.
It's some like bootleg like Indiana Jones and like Tomb Raider thing, but talks basically that movie that Marc was watching apparently has influenced the way he's been thinking. Is what they're trying to get us to think.
Yeah. They I guess the whole point of this is that all these people, or they want you to think he's in a mental hospital, and all this was an illusion.
Yeah.
And all the people in this mental hospital, in his illusions that we've seen, he's just made them into characters based on what he's seeing in the mental hospital, like of Amit.
Yeah.
Arthur, I don't know what his real name is in the mental hospital.
Yeah, it's the subtitles.
Amit.
The subtitle said his name was Arthur, so I'm assuming we're keeping Arthur.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the same names. But yeah,
it was really weird. So Arthur was trying to make this connection between that movie and Dr. Stephen Grant in the movie influencing Mark's second personality. Of Stephen Grant, and then we see this like Aztec lunar god, and Arthur tries to make a connection between Mark saying that he works for a lunar god, and then we see a picture in there of that town that Mark went to in Germany. In Germany, yeah, like in the first episode, in that a bridge scene where it kept on like back and forth, and so we see that town, we see a bunch of Egyptian artifacts.
Yeah, I think there was one of Amit. Yeah, and then we see he's wearing the sandals. He has the cane.
Yeah, and so like Mark at this point is like sedated, almost in a way. Like he's like, ooh, like it really like zombified. And then he starts to think, and he's like, everything reminds me. And Arthur's like, reminds you of what? And he's like, you shot me. And Arthur's like, oh, like he's like, I can't help you if you don't help yourself.
Yeah, the same thing he said after he shot him.
Yeah. And so we see Mark running through this whole insane asylum, comes into a room, and there's an Egyptian sarcophagus in this room, and it's like shaking. Somebody's like, let me out. And he opens up the sarcophagus, and it's Stephen Grant.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be Stephen when it was shaking, but the voice sounded different, which I guess he was in a casket.
Yeah. So they meet up, and they hug it out, and they're like, and so Mark, I love this little detail, but Mark checks with Stephen, he's like, what's the last thing you remember? And Stephen's like, Arthur Harrow shot us. And Mark's like, I knew it. Like I'm not going crazy. So I think that's like the first nod to the fact that this isn't like it may be an illusion, but everything that's transpired thus far has not been an illusion. I think that might be a nod to that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to mislead us with this whole mental hospital thing.
Yeah, but so after that, they go out of the room, Arthur and Stephen. They find another sarcophagus, and that sarcophagus is possibly Jake Lockley, but
dude, Jake, it has to be.
I think it might be Jake Lockley, but
it has to be.
Yeah, it definitely is Jake Lockley.
Well, it's gonna not be Jake Lockley, and they're gonna come back to this point in the video and be like, "Yeah, you're wrong."
Yeah, we knew it. But so then they walk through these they're about to walk through these double doors, and then bam, opens up the door. It's like the Egyptian god of fertility. She's like,
it's Hippo Lady, and they freak out. Dude, that was funny.
Dude, Oscar Isaac, man. Tremendous actor.
He's putting on a performance in this show, man. It's incredible with Steve and Mark. Yeah, and Jake maybe in the future.
So so what do you think this whole insane asylum type deal is? What do you think is going on here?
I don't think it is reality. One or the other has to be reality, right? Yeah. What we've seen in episode 1 through 3.5. Yeah. Or what we saw in the last half of episode 4. Yeah. One of them has to be reality.
It just feels like it. Okay, so let's think about it. If they rip the rug out from under you like this, which they just did, and that whole insane asylum thing has been the reality thus far, that leaves them 2 episodes to do something big.
It's not enough.
It's not enough time.
Unless they drop like surprise episodes, which would be nuts. But
yeah, I don't see it just doesn't feel like enough time to generate another story. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but I just don't see where they're gonna go from here. Like, what are they gonna do?
I don't know what they're gonna do
because in the reality we're saying is the reality. Mm-hmm. Mark just got shot twice in the chest.
Yeah, and so that's like the thing is like I want to think that Khonshu's like deal with Mark is still somehow like in agreement in the sense that he'll keep Mark alive so long as Mark enacts justice, but then Mark would have the suit, and Mark doesn't have the suit, so that
they referenced that earlier in the episode, like he couldn't summon the suit anymore.
Yeah, so it feels like that I think that's thrown out the window. So basically, we gotta think about this. What takes the least amount of explanations to justify this?
I guess maybe he can't be dead.
I don't think he's dead either. I mean, he's definitely not dead. He's definitely not dead. I mean, obviously, this is a show about Moon Knight. We know that Moon Knight, and we know that Mark has the ability to basically come back from the dead at any given point. But that's only with Khonshu. So I'm kind of stumped for real. Like the path. The easiest thing to explain is that this has all been an illusion, and Mark was dreaming this entire time. But then that still doesn't explain, like, as he started to, we mentioned this earlier while we were watching it, but as he started to become more sober, he like, everything started, all the things that he was imagining, you could tell that it was more of an imagination type thing, like the sarcophagus in a room and everything. I don't know, it felt very, like, I feel like, and I said this to you, that it kind of, I feel like Arthur's trying to probe his mind somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like, I don't know if Arthur has that ability, whatever.
It would make sense, though.
Yeah, I feel like because that whenever Mark was in there talking to Arthur, it felt more like an interrogation, not, kind of like I guess like a psychiatrist meeting. Like, he's just asking questions and trying to help him. Like, it felt like an interrogation to me. If
that's the case, what do you think his motive would be?
I don't know. Maybe... Yeah, exactly. I can't explain motive.
Maybe since he hasn't been able to do the scales on him, he doesn't feel like it's right to kill people without, like, before judging them by Ahmed or something. Yeah. So maybe he wants to go in his mind and clear things up, separate Mark and Steven, and then find out. Yeah, like whether he needs to die or not. Yeah, because I feel like in his own twisted way, Arthur thinks obviously he's justice. Yeah. So maybe he doesn't want to kill Mark because he couldn't weigh the scales on him. That's a good explanation. I just don't know. Like I'm so like honestly, I'm just confused. I want to think that this is all a dream. Like this is all. Mark never, not that Mark didn't get shot, but that somehow he's in like a purgatory type thing where he's like not dead, but not like alive either, like almost like in a suspended state of like his spirit's in a suspended state or whatever. But maybe next episode starts with this. Yeah, and we get Jake Lockley. Yeah, hey, he comes back. Maybe because we haven't seen Jake Lockley, but we've got hints at him. Yeah. And we know he's a beast. Like, every time they wake up from being Jake Lockley, there's chaos behind. Yeah, notice though, I will say this actually made a good point. The only other time that we've seen Mark really get hurt while he was in control was when? Episode 3, whenever he got clocked by 2 people. Yeah. He falls to the ground and passes out. And then we get the thing, and then Jake Lockley had already killed 2 people. Yeah, that's true. And so what do we see happen again? Mark gets hurt without the suit. He gets knocked out, falls into a pool of water. So maybe do you think we see like a Jake Lockley adrenaline rush take over? That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe he's okay. We're saying he's not dead. Yeah. Maybe he put like a golden plating or some sort under his clothes, so when he got shot, it didn't penetrate his heart or anything. Because you could see the red, so obviously it got somewhere. I just don't. That's true. Yeah, he did. I don't know. Like, I just want to see. Like, I want to think that everything that we've seen so far is reality, because it feels like it would be too easy for Disney to just rip out the rug from under you and say, "Oh, well, it's all been a dream. Now here we are." You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would not like discredit, but I feel like it would just completely, I don't know, it would make the first 3 or 4 episodes feel useless. So like when you're going to rewatch it, why would you go rewatch those first 3 episodes? You should just pick up where the real story begins. I just had a thought. Maybe, because where he shot him, that's a kill shot. Yeah. He shot him twice. That's a kill shot. Unless he did have some kind of plating where it just barely pierced the skin, he bleeds a little. Yeah. That he took from like Alexander the Great's tomb or something. Yeah. Maybe he did die. And then we get like some kind of afterlife thing in the mental hospital. Yeah. And he gets resurrected somehow. Maybe Layla goes and gets Khonshu out. And then Khonshu revives Marc. That's kind of like he did before, because Marc was about to die.
Yeah, exactly. It feels very similar to the fact that this may be a comic run, but as far as everything that we've watched from people, that we get, we like to see what they say. And I don't know if this has ever been like a comic run. This feels pretty much completely original. Oh, in a way. So like I don't think like there's nothing to say like, well, this is actually what happened. We can go look at the comics. Here's what's gonna happen.
I'm just baffled, dude.
I'm really like honestly, I'm just baffled too. And I know we've basically just talked about it for like probably 10 minutes and come up with nothing. But I feel like
he's either. I guess Jake will wake up with Jake in the next episode. We'll wake up. He's actually
up with Jake.
Well, we wake up with okay. The episode starts with Layla.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yo, Marc's dead," and she saves him with Khonshu somehow.
Yeah.
Or I guess the mental hospital could be reality, or like you said.
I don't know. I feel like I'm saying, like it feels everything that we've watched so far feels like reality, but also the mental hospital idea makes so much more sense because it's easier to explain.
Yeah.
But then you get to the points about like people being held in Egyptian sarcophaguses and like Arthur Harrow's like the fact that he's still wearing those sandals, he has the cane, the whole German city. All of the Egyptian statues, like it's like obviously that and it feels like both of them are reality and dreams at the same time.
Yeah, it does feel that way, which is why it's so confusing. But I something just feels off about that.
Yeah, it
place
does.
At the end, it doesn't seem like that. It could be that many coincidences.
No. It does, and especially with like the Egyptian god of fertility showing up at the very end and being like, "What's up, guys?" Like that. Yeah, I mean that's obviously like the. So yeah, like you can make a whole argument that he's hallucinating, but also
when he first walks in, like the things are swaying, the lights in the whole room. So maybe after he walks in, he starts hallucinating again.
And see, that's why I kind of thought Khonshu was involved in a way because that's like traditionally like whenever. Khonshu was trying to mess with Steven in the first two episodes, things would shift like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And it would be like kind of a hallucination, like, and he'd wake up in a completely different part of, the building. You know what I'm saying? And so it just feels very weird. I honestly, that last 10 minutes of Moon Knight that I've watched have been probably my favorite 10 minutes of any Marvel show, other than like the ending of other than Loki, but like
that was. It's definitely left me more confused than anything I've seen.
Yeah, and it's left me more intrigued too, because like,
oh yeah, I want to know where it goes, dude.
Not to say that I haven't been interested in this show, but just like this makes me want next week's episode to be here right now. Like I want to see it right now.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if this was Netflix's format.
Oh yeah, I'd be binge watching, dude.
I would be finished.
You couldn't get me out of you couldn't get me out of my chair. I mean, the first 3 episodes they've been good. But they haven't been like, oh, I need to see it next episode right now. Yeah. This episode left me like, oh my gosh, I've got to see episode 5 right now.
It came out of nowhere, dude.
It really did come out of nowhere.
It's
like what? And like whenever he gets shot, that's only 30 minutes into the show, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, I guess he just died. That must be the plot twist I've heard about. And then I see the light, and I'm like, what? What
the heck is this?
But I mean, that's our thoughts about the show. I mean, y'all let us know what you think if you're watching. But I mean, we've kind of explained everything we think so far. Either it's a reality, or either the mental hospital is a reality, or what we've seen is already a reality, or they're both like illusions and realities at the same time. Who knows, man? I guess that's kind of the point. Is like Marvel Studios is like, we don't want you to know. So
until that. They're gonna get most of the audience for this episode back next week.
Oh, easily, yeah. I mean, they'll be having our views for sure, and we'll be back in the stew next week.
Back in the stew. Hopefully.
So if you watch this video, thanks for watching and bearing through the interesting setup. But until
Couch podcast style.
Yeah, until then, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.